There are a variety of mistakes that I often see bartenders as well as home mixologists make when they're making drinks. One of them is falling into the trap of using sour mix. Welcome to the Cocktail Spirit. I'm your host, Robert Hess. We're doing a series of episodes where we're talking about common mistakes that we see bartenders as well as home mixologists make. One of them, and quite frankly, I've got to admit, I've been guilty of this myself, is using sour mix. Now, sour mix is a crutch. In some cases, it's a hammer in which everything suddenly turns into a nail. It's basically a citrus juice like lime combined with simple syrup. So if you're to make simple syrup, this is like a 1-to-1 simple syrup, 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and then you add lime juice. So let's say you add an ounce of lime juice to an ounce of simple syrup, you end up with 2 ounces of sour mix. It's basically a pre-made sour for your drink. If you're doing something like a daiquiri, which uses simple syrup and lime juice, why don't you just combine these two ahead of time so you have it already done for you? Well, it'll make it a little bit easier and quicker for you to make a daiquiri, but then the same sweet and sour is kind of the same thing happening in a margarita. So why not use the same thing in a margarita? Margarita is using lime juice as well. It's also using a sweetener. Oh, but in the margarita, the sweetener has a little bit of orange flavor to it because it's using triple sec. So you'd want some orange flavor in this. Well, but the orange flavor is not going to be the same thing you want for a daiquiri, so you're going to kind of mess it up there. And if you want to do like a gin sour with uses lemon juice, well, you use lime juice. So lemon juice isn't quite the same thing there. So even when you're using fresh made sour mix at home, suddenly you've got a product that is only made for one drink and one drink only, because maybe the ratios are going to be different between your lemon, your lime, your simple, your triple sec, or whatever. And heaven forbid that you buy a commercial sour mix, which has artificial ingredients in it. The sweetener is going to be a corn syrup. The citrus is going to be coming from citric acid. It's going to have some artificial flavors, artificial colorings. It might be lime green. It might be a silent orange color, but none of it's going to be any good. And all you're doing is saving yourself one step. And in that one step, you're messing up all your other drinks. So please focus on making your own sour mix for the drink as you're making the drink, rather than making ahead of time. So let's take a look at a daiquiri and what goes into a daiquiri and how simple it is and why you don't need to use a sour mix to make it. Well, we're going to start off with our rum. We're going to add 2 ounces of a white rum. I'm using plantation rum here. Since the daiquiri is all about that clean rum flavor, you want to make sure you get a good rum there. But in addition to that, it's also about the nice, clean, bright flavors of the lime juice. So you want to use fresh squeezed lime juice. And the simple syrup is balancing out the lime juice with a sweetener. Now this simple syrup, you notice, is on the darker side. It's not clear, perfectly clear like a normal simple syrup is. That's because I'm using a raw organic sugar in there, but other than that, there's nothing else different from that. Now we add our ice. We shake it up. And there we have a delicious daiquiri without any sour mix. I control the ingredients, I control the ratios, I control the quality, because that's what it takes to make a perfect daiquiri.